Hello, we are going to start this presentation at the third gvSIG Festival about gvSIG Mobile open source geographic information system for field data gathering. First of all, I'm going to share my desktop. It will be practical with several videos. We are going to see how to edit data in gvSIG Mobile and its integration with gvSIG Desktop. To start, gvSIG Mobile is a GIS application for mobile devices for Android for field data gathering. First of all, I'm going to speak about the installation. There are two parts in this case. We have the main application for the mobile devices for Android that you can download from this URL. This is the gvSIG website. Here you can see the link, or you also can access to the Google Play Store in your smartphone, and you can look for gvSIG Mobile, and you can download and install the application. The second installation is the plugin for gvSIG Mobile and gvSIG Desktop integration. This plugin has to be installed on gvSIG Desktop. And now I'm going to show you the first video how to install this plugin. We are going to Tools Add-ons Manager from the gvSIG version, install from URL, and the installation by default, the URL that we have by default. Then we press Mobile, we select the only plugin that we have, and we press Next. And we have, if we don't have the base plugin installed in our computer, it will be installed too. This plugin is installed when we install the ortho machine or IPANET. So if you have one of these two plugins, it won't be installed in that moment. I didn't have this base plugin, so it's installing both plugins. And after that, we have to restart gvSIG to take effect the changes. So we are closing gvSIG and we are restarting gvSIG again. And now we will see the new menu that we will have with the options for gvSIG mobile integration. We have the H machine. If you had the ortho machine or IPANET, you will have the H machine. So it adds a new option that is gvSIG mobile with the different options that we have. Well, we're going to continue. We're going to start with the different tools that are available in gvSIG Mobile and gvSIG Desktop integration with gvSIG Mobile. First one is the tiles importing. If we have a raster file, for example, in gvSIG Desktop, we can export the tiles to be loaded in gvSIG Mobile. So I'm going to start the second video. We have a new view. My reference system, it's EPSG 25830, and I'm going to load this raster file in the same reference system. And now I'm going to the H machine, gvSIG Mobile, and create gvSIG Mobile tiles. We have to select the minimum and maximum zoom level, for example, 12 and 19, the format, the dataset name, in this case Peninsula 1, and the output folder, that will be the folder where the new file will be created with the tiles. it will be the tiles folder. Here we have the new folder, and here we have the tiles. It has finished, so we have to copy the new file created from your computer to your smartphone. In my case, I'm going to use an emulator with an Android emulator. So I'm going to copy this file to my shared folder with the emulator. And then from the Android, I have to copy, in my case, I have to copy the file from the shared folder of the emulator to the download folder, that is the folder recognized by gvSIG Mobile. So in download, for example, I'm going to copy this file from the shared folder to the main path in gvSIG in the Android. So here, the download folder. And now I'm going to open gvSIG Mobile after installing from the Google Play Store, and we are going to see the different options that we have. We can add notes, we can add images, we can add maps, texts, etc. And we can create forms. In my case, I have these arboles, and in the next video we will see how to create forms. We can use them in our projects. Here we can change the project information. We can manage the GPS. In my case, I don't have GPS because I'm working in a computer, not in a smartphone. We can import different formats, and we have the one important format or product is gvSIG Online. If you have implemented gvSIG Online, we can export and import the information from gvSIG Online to gvSIG Mobile to work for field data gathering. And we have another formats. And we also can export the information to different formats. We also have a menu with different options. And the viewer. We have the viewer with our base layer, that in our case is OpenStreetMap. It's the base layer by default. We can change here we have the GPS option to connect the GPS, and the settings. We can manage the settings of the gvSIG Mobile application. And from here we can select the tile source. In our case we have OpenStreetMap by default, but we can add a new tile. In our case, the Peninsula one that we have created from gvSIG Desktop. So if we select it, we have the new one. I have selected it, and now from the viewer we can see the image, the tiles, in our view in gvSIG Mobile. Well, we are going to continue with the next slide. Next tool will be to import bookmarks. We can create a file, a CSV file with the bookmarks that we can import in gvSIG Mobile. So I'm going to show you the video. Our video. And we have the main information here. The file format has to be this way: the name of the bookmark, latitude and longitude, separated by commas. Then the file name has to be bookmarks and then whatever you want. And the extension has to be a CSV file. And when we copy this file in our smartphone, it has to be at the SD card folder that we have indicated in gvSIG mobile. We are going to see how to do it. Well, we have an example here, the name of the bookmark, comma, and latitude and longitude. And the name of the file, bookmarks, and it's a CSV file. Well, we are going to copy this file from our computer to the from the share folder to the folder that can be read, can be seen from gvSIG mobile. And now from gvSIG mobile, we have the custom at the settings. We have the custom SD card path. This is the path where gvSIG mobile is installed. The main folders and files are inside this folder. In my case is download. So if I paste this file in download folder, it will be recognized directly from gvSIG mobile. Here we have the viewer, but we have to access to import menu, and we have bookmarks. So when we press bookmarks, it recognizes the files that we have in this folder, in download in my case, bookmarks and CSV file. So if I accept, I will have 5 bookmarks as I had. And then from the viewer, we can see the different bookmarks here. If I press this button, I keep pressed the mouse on this button, I can see the different bookmarks that I have. We can remove and edit the different bookmarks, and we can zoom to them. For example, here we have a zoom. We have zoomed to this beach. If we keep pressed them again, we can zoom to another one. Saunders Rock Beach. And here we have the new element. Well, I'm going to continue with the next tool. In this case, we are going to create forms and mapping elements. I have to tell you that at this moment, we have to create the forms manually. We have to create a file and then load it in gvSIG mobile. But we are developing an extension, a plugin for gvSIG desktop that will allow us to create forms in an automatic way. We will have a wizard and we will create the different fields. So, sorry, I'm going to start the video. Next one. Well, I have the form that we have created. The file format, the file name is tags a JSON file. So we have different forms. In this case, images, my customized form that is trees. This is by default, map node, sketch node, and this is the form that I have created with a field for the names, then for the dates, and for the types with a combo with different options. It will be for the trees. So the forms are very useful if you are going to map the trees or the lights or the elements or the business in a city, for example, you can, if you have the same values of them, you can use the options so you won't have errors when you write on your smartphone. Well, I'm going to continue. I'm going to copy the file at the gvSIG mobile folder where we have to copy this file. From here, I'm going to paste inside the gvSIG mobile folder that is inside your SD card path. I told you that my SD card path was download, and inside that folder we have a gvSIG mobile folder that has been created automatically. So we have to paste the tags.json inside this gvSIG mobile folder. If we paste at this option, at this folder, it will be recognized directly from gvSIG mobile. So if we access to the forms, to the nodes, we are going to create a new project previously that we are going to name Peníscola City. Here we have the custom SD card path. Download is in my case. So inside this folder we have the gvSIG mobile folder where we have to paste the tags.json file to be recognized automatically from gvSIG mobile. Well, and now I'm going to change the base layer to Peníscola City. I don't know the zoom now, so I have to change again to OpenStreetMap to look for Peníscola. And now I'm going to look for Peníscola in Spain. After that, I will change the base layer to the orthophoto, to the tiles. Here we have Peníscola, and now I'm going to change the base layer to the orthophoto. I'm doing it because I don't have a GPS position because I'm working on a computer. So I need the orthophoto to see the GPS position to map the different elements. So you will be in this part, in this position. There's a palm tree, for example, here. You would be with your smartphone, and you will use the GPS position, not the map center. In my case, I'm going to use the map center. So you have to open the form. I have this form called trees with the three fields that I told you. The name, for example, tree number 1. The date. We have the calendar to select the date. And the type, where we have the different options that we have included in the form. So palm tree, in this case. We save the register, and we have the new register here. We are going to map a new tree. So we press here. I'm going to use again the map center, the form trees, and the name tree number 2. The date and the type. another tree, for example, maple. And I have a second one. And to finish it, I'm going to map a third one. Map center, tree number 3. The date, 2 more days, for example. And the type, another, for example, lavender tree. We save this new point. And now we are going to exit gvSIG mobile. We have our Peninsula City project with this information, with that information. So I'm going to copy this project from downloads. Peninsula City, there are 2 files. We have to copy these files to our computer. You can use Bluetooth or by email. I'm using an emulator, so I'm going to copy the files to my shared folder to be recognized from the computer. So here we have this folder, and now if I go to the computer, I have this folder, Android Samsung, and I have Peninsula City, the 2 files. So now from gvSIG mobile, from gvSIG desktop, when we install the plugin that told you in the first video, apart from the H-matching menu, at the view, we are going to change the properties for 3 to 6, geographic coordinates, and at the Add Layer button, Add Layer window, we have a new tab called gvSIG Mobile. From here we can import the projects, the gvSIG Mobile projects. So we have the Peninsula City, and here we have the trees form that I have created. We can export to shapefile this information, and after that we can see the 3 trees that we created. I'm going to add a webmap tile service to check if the trees are correctly. This is a webmap tile service with an orthophoto, and we can see that we have the palm tree and the other 2 trees that we have created. This file, if I access to the properties, we can check that it's a shapefile in a new folder called Peninsula City. Here we have the shapefile, and if you took pictures, you will have them inside the media folder. If we access to the attribute table, we can see that 3 elements. We have 3 fields by default: the date when the point was mapped, and the 3 other fields with the name, the date, and the type of tree: maple, palm tree, and lavender tree. This is a shapefile. Well, after that, we have seen how to manage the information from gvSIG desktop from gvSIG mobile to gvSIG desktop, and we are going to continue with a new tool. Next one will be exporting vector data from gvSIG desktop to gvSIG mobile. For that, we are going to use a database that has been included in the last version of gvSIG desktop, gvSIG desktop 2.4, that is sqlite. We can manage the information through sqlite databases. So we are going to start the next video about this functionality. Well, I have a new view. The reference system will be EPSG 4326, and I'm going to add a shapefile. First, I will add a web app service with the information of OpenStreetMap. It will be my base layer. And now I'm going to add a shapefile. You can insert a shapefile that you have created previously, or you can create an empty shapefile and export the empty shapefile to add the elements from gvSIG Mobile later. So in my case, I have a shapefile with several elements. They are the points of interest of Cape Town. I'm going to change the symbology, increase the size to see the points in a better way. Well, we have 3 points: a national park, a stadium, and a museum with 2 fields. Well, if we access to the properties, I'm going to label the layer 2 with using the name field. Here we have Robben Island, stadium, and Table Mountain. If you don't have, we're going to export too, but if you don't have the shapefile originally, you can create the new shapefile, an empty shapefile. From here, from view, new layer, you can insert the name of the field, and the name of the layer, type of geometry, if it's a point shapefile or line or polygon shapefile, and you can add new fields. But in my case, I'm going to export the shapefile that I had with the 3 points. So we have to export to database. We're going to press next, and here we have to write a connection name, whatever you want. We have to select sqlite, very important, and the name of the file of the sqlite database. So, for example, Cape Town points of interest. We press open, and then we press next. The scheme, for example, I'm going to change the name. It can be public, for example. It's informing about the spaces of the names. And we press next, original reference system, and all the records. And we are going to add the new layer. It's a database that we can check in our folder. Here we have, it's a sqlite database, but the extension of the file is sqlite, that is supported by gvSIG Mobile. We're going to copy this file to the share folder of my emulator, because I don't have Android, the smartphone here. I'm using an emulator of Android, and now from Android, I'm going to copy this file to the folder recognized by the gvSIG Mobile application. I'm going to copy this file from the shared folder of my Android to download folder, where I have all the information about gvSIG Mobile. And then from gvSIG Mobile, We have the spatialite settings here, but we are going to keep them by default. And I'm going to create a new project because I had another information from another place. I'm going to create a new file, a new project. So I have an empty project now, and from the spatialite list, we have to add the new sqlite file that we have created from gvSIG desktop. We can activate the layer, and we can zoom to the layer. I don't have my my tile source was Peniscola, so it's not the correct one. And here we have OpenStreetMap. So we're in Cape Town. The zoom, we have to zoom out a little bit. We're going to zoom to again, and we have to zoom out. So here we have the 3 points that we had in our shapefile before, that we exported to a spatialite, and then we have to, if we want to select the layer that we want to edit, we have to keep this button pressed a little, 1 or 2 seconds, and after that this menu is open with all the layers that are editable. So we can edit this layer. If we go back to the view, if we press now only with one click, only clicking on this button, we start editing on the layer that we have selected before. So now we have started editing, and we have these new 3 buttons. With this one we can select the elements, this one for editing, and with this one we can insert new elements. In this case it's a point layer, so we can insert new points. We're going to look for a new point of interest. Here we have the the stadium. I'm going to change the properties of the point layer to increase the size of the points. And also I'm going to label that layer. We set properties by the name field, and now we have the Cape Town Stadium and the box, the square. We have the island. Here we have the 3 points. So we are going to look for a new point of interest for mapping. In this case, we have the castle of Good Hope, the Cape Town Castle, and we are going to add a new point here. I'm going to use this tool, and now we have 3 options. The first one is the GPS position, but I can't use this option because I'm working on an emulator. The second one is the center of the image, and the third one is when we click where we click on with the mouse. So I'm going to use the second one in the center of the image, the red cross. Well, I have a new point. I save it. I have saved the point. I go back, and I'm going to edit this point. I'm going to edit the alphanumerical information. We can remove the point, we can copy, or we can edit the alphanumerical information. So we have the fields. If you remember that we had in the shapefile, we have the name, for example, Castle of Good Hope, the type, castle, and we save We can take a picture too, but we save the point. And now we have this new point that we have added to the other 3 points. We're going to add a new point, the railway station. So I'm going to use the same option. We go back. I'm going to edit the alphanumerical information. The attribute table, and now Cape Town station. And the type is an station. We save this point, and here we have the new points. We can check the information. Here we have the alphanumerical information. We have a refresh problem here in the emulator. So if I finish editing, I can finish editing and start again. And it will be solved. Well, we also have the distance option. We can measure distances between different points. We are drawing on the view from the station to the castle, for example. We have almost 900 meters. Well, we are going to exit gvSIG mobile, and we are going to copy these files, the new files. The new file, in this case, the sqlite, that has 5 points instead of 3 points. I'm going to copy this file from my smartphone to my computer. You can use Bluetooth, or you can use email. By email, for example, I'm going to overwrite this file. This is my share folder. And now we have this new file in the Android folder. I'm going to delete the old one, and I'm going to add a layer from geodatabase, and I'm going to start to create a new connection. From here, I have to write a connection name, the driver, sqlite, and I select the file. I'm going to advance the video because in this case I'm loading the old one, but here I'm going to start again selecting the correct sqlite file, the sqlite database. So from geodatabase, we have to add a new connection from the right button here, new connection name, the driver, sqlite, very important, and we have to select the file. In our case, we have the file in the Android folder. This is the file that we have copied from the smartphone to the computer. So here is the Android Samsung folder. From here, no, another folder, the Android Samsung. Here we have Cape Town points of interest sqlite. This is the updated file that we have with the 5 points. The 3 original points. We have to select this table, and now we're going to delete the old one, And we have the new sqlite file, the new spatialite database. I'm going to change the symbology to increase the size. And you have, now we have the 5 points. I'm going to label this layer. We have the castle. It was a new point, and the Cape Town station. We can, this is a sorry, this is a spatialite database, but we can export this database to a shapefile. If we export this database to a shapefile, we can work on it. For example, we can edit the layer, we can edit the attribute table, we can analyze this layer, etc. So we are going to export this new database to a shapefile. All the records, and now we have the shapefile. We have the same attribute table with all the information. We have the 2 new points, and we can start editing, or we can add the information to the attribute table. For example, we can add the latitude and longitude. Well, we have finished this video. Sorry, and we are going to show this new functionality. That is, we can load web map services in gvSIG mobile. So we are going to start a new video. The last one, we have gvSIG mobile, where we have one base layer that is OpenStreetMap, and we are going to add, this is OpenStreetMap, and I'm going to access the browser. In the import menu, we can copy the URL of the web map service. So I'm going to access to the Zurich. I'm going to look for Zurich orthophoto web map service, and I'm going to copy the URL of this service. We have the get capabilities, and we are going to copy this link URL, that is the resource. This is the get capabilities of the web map service. We paste the URL, then we connect, and we have the different layers. In our case, the orthophoto that has been added in gvSIG mobile. So now, from the tile source, the base layers, I have a new layer that is the orthophoto of Zurich. You have to take into account that you would need internet connection in your smartphone for that. So I have this new web map service. It's updating the tiles when I move on the view. Well, and it has been the last tool that we have seen in this webinar. If you are interested in this project, you can follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, LinkedIn, or you can contact us at info@gvsig.com. If you have any doubt about gvSIG mobile, you can use the mailing lists. There's a mailing list in English for users that you can find in the gvSIG website, gvsig.com. There's a community section where you can find the mailing lists of the gvSIG project. And thank you very much. We will have soon the plugin to create the forms. As I told you, we will inform about it at the gvSIG blog. The gvSIG blog, we will publish a post. Thank you very much. I'm going to check if there's any question about this at the chat of the webinar. There isn't any question, so the webinar here, and thank you very much. Thank you.